Sorry, brother.
Sorry. I'm sorry for
No problem. I didn't want it to devolve into like a yelling match, which you did, which is cool. But yes.
It's only because I wanted to interject.
No worries. Huh?
Have a conversation? I don't mind having a conversation.
Do you want to do it on camera?
I don't care. Yeah, I don't mind.
Go. So these are Christian cameras. They will put you on YouTube. So let's not talk too crazy. Yeah. But no, what's up? Let me know.
So to be honest, I've been watching a few of the videos.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
So, it's been very informative and it's brought up a lot of questions. A lot of questions that I have, and then across all religions. So, for example, I did interject in your debate. Sorry, but the problem that I had was essentially what was his name? Daniel was saying.
Mansour, get lost.
About
I don't want you here, Mansour. Get lost. Mansour, get lost, Mansour. Your voice is annoying. Get lost.
Essentially about what you said, which I don't think is actually false. So it's so I've been listening to what you guys are saying. Going to back to what Sikh calls like an opaque context. For example.
Oh, so, nice.
So if you're saying now on his
sorry.
Oh, okay. If you say then that statement. The father knows that he's the son. That is true because of opaque context. It's not false.
No.
Sorry, what I mean by that is like the father and the son are opaque context to each other. So I watched Sikhs.
So the idea would be that, for example, he gives the idea of Superman and Clark Kent. Right. So if you said that, now the only problem with it is that in certain new series, right, Lois is aware that Superman is Clark Kent, but in the classical telling, Lois is aware that Clark Kent is a reporter who grew up on a farm and now works in the city. But then Clark Kent is also Superman, who can fly. Clark Kent can fly because he pretends to be a human being, and Lois knows him as a human being. So if we then said that Lois knows that Clark Kent could fly, that would then violate the idea of an opaque context, because the truth value that Clark Kent can fly as Superman isn't known by Lois.
So, but what I'm saying to you is that, like, in terms of that, in terms of why I think what Daniel was saying is false is true. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying in terms of, like, in my understanding of opaque context, you put the father and the son together, and like let's say father equals the son, but they're clouds on either side of the the equal is the truth, but on either end is different, right?
So the equal would be God, not the Father. So God. So here's the understanding. So there's God, right, who is the creator of the universe, the purveyor of all things, right? But there are three persons of God. In the same way that there is one Kal-El or one Clark Kent, but there are somewhat two persons of Kal-El and Clark Kent.
What I'm essentially saying is that why is it false?
Oh, because we respect the idea of the distinctions in person. That one person is not the other, otherwise there'll be no distinction. And then if we erase the distinction of the persons, then we fall into the idea of like an early heresy called modalism.
Okay, so I don't know much about the heresy, but what I would say is
the idea is that like there's one God who has three personalities, kind of thing.
Oh, okay. So no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in terms of like, so you said the equal sign is God.
It's God, yeah.
So let's just use symbolism in the equation. I'm saying God, God, God.
So it's like, oh wait,
you see actually, what I'm saying?
You know what, sorry. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah.
So the equal sign is the equal sign, but what's on the other end is God.
And on the other end is God.
No, on the other end is the Father.
Yeah, but the Father is God as well, right?
Yeah, so the Father equals God, the Son equals God, and the Spirit equals God.
No, yeah, but like, so what the opaque context is if we put the Father and the Son and the equal sign on in between them.
No, that would violate that, because with Superman, he is one person.
I'm talking about the knowledge of Clark Kent knows he's Superman.
Yes.
Superman knows he's Clark Kent.
Yes.
In the same way, the father knows that he is the son, but he is...
No, because the father is one person. The son isn't the alter ego of the father.
Okay.
Right? So the father is one person of the Trinity, the son is one person of the Trinity, and imagine it almost like if we take Superman, Batman, and Thor, right? So hopefully I'm not getting this completely wrong, right? But with Superman, he is one person, and then he has the two identities, right? The alter ego and then the real him, and the Batman has the exact same thing.
So could it then be said is that is just what we understand as humans to be the aspect of God that shows up in its entirety? So what I mean by when the Son appears, that is God in the entirety as the Son, as the Father, as whatever. It's we see it as distinct. But in Godhead, it's
no.
I know it's distinct, but I mean like
there's a real distinction.
You'll forget what you done in the morning. Do you get what you done yesterday? And what I'm saying is like, how does that then work with the three? Do you get what I'm saying?
There's a real distinction. It's a distinction in reality.
Time different to you?
Yes, yeah.
All right.
So there's a real distinction between the Father, Son, and the Spirit. So the Father is He who is unbegotten. So who is the first cause? The Son is eternally begotten of the Father, and the Spirit eternally spirates from the Father.
So does that?
So when you have the Son on earth as Jesus Christ, you don't then have the Son, the Father, and the Spirit all in the one person. What you have there is the Son has joined unto himself a human nature, but he is still distinct from the Father because of his properties, if you will. He's begotten of the Father.
So that's what I'm trying essentially to... I think we're saying the same thing, but
So the thing is that the Father does not equal the Son because he's distinct from the Son. The Father or the Son isn't a person of the Father and the Son. They are a person of God. Sorry?
They got the same power.
So so they all have the same power, but they are distinctive in their roles and in their actions.
But they all come under one God.
Gods, yes.
That's what it's hard because I've background about me. I've come from Unitarian, so one God point of view.
One God, one person.
One God, one person.
Yeah.
It's hard getting this idea, this Trinity.
Sorry? Sure?
Popular speakers of Speaker School now.
Am I a popular speaker? Okay, sure. Joining like mid conversation or just like me myself?
You guys have
Sure. No worries. Sorry. Yes. So.
It's about the Trinity.
Yeah. So what? One God, three persons. But don't confuse the persons for each other. That's very important.
So that's what I'm trying to say. That's my explanation of what I'm saying is not correct.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is the opaque
context.
The opaque context on either side of the equal side. This is how he explained it. The guy at Signal Talk. Is that the Father and the Son are covered in clouds. So it's not an equivocal.
This is the Chris guy, right?
Yeah. Okay. So it's like they're equivocal, but they're in clouds. So you can't actually see both of the clouds are equal, but you don't know what's underneath.
Okay.
As a person viewing.
Okay.
So then. So one thing I did have a problem with then is that when Jesus says I am the Son, whatever the Father does, I do. Is that I'm paraphrasing, can't remember.
So, but my Father is working until now, and so am I.
So
I do whatever I see the Father do.
Okay. So then how does that? Can you give an example of how that works? So is it like, say for example, if me and you were to do a synchronized dance randomly and then we just both put our hands up together, I knew what I was going to do, but you didn't, but as I raised my hand, you did. Does that make sense?
But if it's synchronized dance, then we are both aware of what forms we want to take at what time.
I'm just trying to unpack how it works.
Okay.
I'm not saying that, like,
so,
is it like that?
Essentially, it was an exposition of the idea that the Father, who equals God, works to keep the reality functioning as is through his providence, right? And as the Father does, so does the Son. So the Son also works to keep reality functioning through his providence. So essentially, what that verse was trying to put across was his co-substantial relationship with the Father. that as the Father does something, so does the Son.
Oh, okay, in terms of actions. Yeah.
In terms of action and providence, where all of reality, like all of the constants that keep our reality as it is, the gravity, the wind, the magnetism, it's all being controlled or regulated by the power of God. By the will of the Father, through the Son, using the power of His Spirit.
So is that a tethering? Are they tethered to each other?
Well, we describe it as a co-substantial relationship. So there is God, and there are three underlying realities of God. So they aren't just like created things that are joined to God. They're the realities itself of who God is.
Okay. The thing is that as they're free, I don't want to word it wrong. If you're saying they're free
persons, yeah.
How do I know what his? So what's his name?
Okay, so all three persons. So as was revealed as was revealed to Moses, right? All three persons are Yahweh. Right?
So in the Hebrew is Yahweh.
Yeah.
And so there's different names for him. And
but those
is this all relating to Jesus, the Spirit, and God?
Yeah. They're all God. They're all God, right?
So you don't call them Yahweh. You call Jesus Yahweh.
I don't actually use Yahweh. I just say God, right? But Christ in the incarnation in John 14:14, He did say that you can ask Him for anything in His name. And whatever you ask Him, He will give to you. So that's why through Christian liturgy for the last 2,000 years, we tend to direct our prayer to the Father. So, "O Father who art in heaven, hallowed be Thy name," right? Then we end it with in Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name. That's what I believe.
Yeah. For example. It doesn't matter necessarily what it is that you're calling God, because in different languages, they call God different things. For example, I'm from Nigeria, and in my native language, which is Igbo, we call God Chineke, right? So that is a term that we used to use for our God before we became Christianized. But we are still referring to the Lord God of Israel, the Lord of hosts, creator of the universe. And God understands that we have different languages. So it's okay to call God what you call Him in your language.
What is your relationship? It might be a personal question. What is your relationship with God? And how? So let's take all the semantics out of it. And then talk about the brass tacks about what you're actually saying by being in here today.
No, I mean absolutely. I am not a hyper spiritual person.
Okay.
Right.
That's interesting.
I would love to be. This is also what my mom excels in. Right.
Okay.
I just honestly I simply accept things as they are. So I was brought up a Christian, and I've never doubted that Christianity wasn't the truth, but I'm very much enjoying the newer kind of understanding I'm getting of God by coming here and engaging with people who don't believe in God or who have a wrong understanding of who God is. So right now, I am enjoying learning more about God and growing closer to God in that way. Maybe in the future I could become. I don't think, honestly, I don't think it's like a natural gift of mine to be like hyper spiritual and see people and see demons and that kind of thing. That's not my thing.
I have the exact opposite.
Really?
Exactly.
Which is absolutely fine, because everyone has different gifts of the Spirit.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'd probably have to do it on camera. Even talk to them, and I'm not saying it's quite a personal topic. Let's say, for example. I had a very vivid experience spiritually, in terms of what I witnessed. I can't make sense of it.
Don't tell me, because I'm interested. I'm interested of your experience. I've never heard people.
Yeah.
I've never believed.
So if I was to say anything that I know based on the experience of my life that I've had and what I went through in terms of spiritual experience, there is a God. There is no ifs, buts,
but then what was that spiritual experience?
Experiencing the powers of God, seeing it. I'm not even I could tell you stories about what was happening to me during this period of time where, bruv, you wouldn't believe me. You'd stand here and say I'm crazy. I wouldn't be able. Do you know what I'm saying?
Currently.
I am
currently. I have that. I'm saying that you've had experiences. I think that's crazy.
Yeah. But
then I don't know, because I'm just letting you. I've never had it.
That's
so
fine.
I want to hear.
Wait. No, I don't care if you think I'm crazy or not. But what I'm saying, me standing here before you spoke to me, and I said I experienced drink, do you think I was crazy?
What, when you experienced it?
When we were just talking, having a conversation.
I would say it would depend on what you experience, because I've heard some crazy things.
That's the thing,
right?
How crazy?
No, as in like I've heard some things where people have seen or experienced something, and the conclusion they came to afterwards was a little bit crazy.
Yes.
So it would depend on what you saw and then what you got out of it.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends. So I don't know. It's hard for me to explain because, so let's say being able to see if someone was like, having the idea of someone was possessed by a demon, which we all believe actually. Which we're meant to believe, I don't know what, if you are religious, you're meant to believe someone's possessed by a demon, it can happen. Jesus witnessed it.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Sure.
Other people witnessed it. So when I was deep in that, I'm witnessing that thing that's happening in front of me. I'm like, oh shit, like, am I crazy? I'm witnessing this thing. Other people can tell me I'm crazy, fine, but if like what I've physically seen with my eye, whether or not you weren't seeing it, like, is this top black? Do you know what I'm saying? You can't tell me definitively. So, like, for me, those experiences that I've seen, let's say someone being possessed by a demon, for example.
Okay.
Yeah, I see.
And you were always like this, or it happened?
I was always like this.
Okay.
But I'm opposite to you in terms of
you're a lot more spiritual.
But how am I not crazy? Based on what?
What?
Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay, so how are you not crazy?
I'm opposite because I can't accept what you believe. You believe things are matter of fact. But if I don't believe matter of fact and I've, let's say, understood, I've seen some spiritual things. Secularly, I'd be crazy.
I mean, sure, secularly, but is a secular understanding of reality the only understanding of reality or the truest?
This is why I would ask you.
I said no.
Right. Okay.
It's right in some things and wrong in other things. Simple.
Then how would
it's wrong in its denial of like the spiritual world, for example.
So you're saying you're more factual based, you're more faith. I mean, you feel it. You feel God.
I don't know. I'm not, because that's why I don't actually know. Like his idea has left him stronger in faith. What I've actually experienced has left me weaker in faith. You get what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah. Because,
okay. How so?
Well, every secular relatives, doctors, whoever will give you medication, this, therapy, whatever, until you're crazy. So it's you that would say, okay, fair enough, there is a psychological issue that could have happened that led me to there.
Okay.
But in terms of the physical things I experienced, you could argue spirituality. I would argue, well, the secular could argue crazy. You're crazy.
Well, it would depend, right? Like, is this causing you?
How can I convince myself that I'm not crazy? What I'm saying.
Is it causing you any kind of issue? How so? How so?
Because I don't know what that means.
Do you want to talk about this off camera or on camera? What do you want to do?
To fully get into depth, I can go on camera. Depends what you want. Okay.
I'm happy with either. Yeah. So like, as much as you're willing to share.
Okay, I'll go off camera. Yeah.
Off camera?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me.
I'll wait for
where am I? Dudes.
Who is it? JC?
Yeah. Sorry. Can I go off camera for a second, please? I just want to go talk to a gentleman. Yeah.